In 2007, 2008, our family lost what we thought was everything. Our home, our business, our cars. We moved from a 6,500 square foot house in Illinois to 3 tents in the National Forest in northern Arizona. And we had a rental car, we had 3 kids with us, our dog, and $2,200. This Corona COVID-19 crisis right now has prompted me to want to share some of these things with you. The lessons that I learned during our crisis are things that I'm using now, and it has helped me to cope with other crises in my life, including this one, in a way that still allows me to be filled with joy and peace and love. And it's so different than it was back in 2008. And so I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk with you about that. My name is Karen Pohlman. I'm the founder of Live Another Way. It's a 2.0 update for life that enables people to be unmessable with and face anything. And the lessons that I learned from that experience that our family went through are lessons that anybody can learn and that anyone can implement. And I just wanted to share a few simple things that I think are really valuable and could be really helpful, especially during this time. So I want to share a quick PowerPoint with you guys. And I'm just going to share my screen with you so that we can go through that. And oh, where did it go? Here it is. Okay, perfect. This is the house that we moved from in Illinois and into the tents. So you can see it was definitely a big change. And right now we're all dealing with a lot of change. A lot of the things that we're normally used to, we don't have. And so those changes create uncertainty. And that's kind of what I wanted to help everybody with today, is to really be unmessable with in the face of anything. And what is unmessable with? Unmessable with is really creating opportunity in any circumstance, or possibility under any circumstance. So life is going to throw stuff at us. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have troubles or things that come up. It also doesn't mean that we're not going to have feelings that come up. But being unmessable with is being able to face anything that comes our way. And if we do get knocked down, get right back up, get up stronger, quicker, with less of a crisis hangover, and really create possibility under any circumstance. First key to this is what we focus on. Okay, our brain takes in all sorts of information every day, tons and tons of information. It goes through this process of analyzing it, coming up with best guesses of what it means, predictions, projections, and it creates automatic programs. One of those automatic programs is our fight or flight response, and that happens when we have something that threatens us, right? I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that feels like. This crisis is a threat to us, and chances are we are having the reactions that normally happen during any sort of fight or flight right now. What happens to the brain when we feel threatened is the amygdala. It's a part of our brain that's in the middle of our brain. It gets hijacked and it releases brain cocktails of adrenaline and cortisol and other brain chemicals. And we feel sweaty, we get physical responses, our heart races, our voices talk faster. And when we're in that space, okay, the part of our brain that is creative and thinks and makes good decisions is our prefrontal cortex, the executive part of our brain. And when our amygdala is hijacked, that prefrontal cortex part of our brain does not work. It gets shut down. And so we lose the ability to make good decisions when we are feeling threatened. Okay, so one of the things we need to do is really take intentional hold of what we focus on. The news media, it's crazy. In the last week, I mean, it's just gone from minimal to like so over the top. There's always a breaking story, and every single day the news stories change. And you know, we're being inundated with this, and the media companies, they make money by keeping us tuned in, right? So if you happen to be at home right now and you are working from home, or you're at home with your kids or whatever, keeping the news on in the background, not a good idea. It's going to keep your brain hijacked, and it's not going to allow you to think and process information in the best way that it could. And right now, we really need to support ourselves and give ourselves every opportunity to make the best decisions that we can for ourselves and our families and everybody else in our world. So keep calm and carry on. We need to keep everything in a very calm, relaxed, supportive state so that we can be the best and be all of who we were created to be during this time. Okay, so taking care of our focus and really deciding what we allow into our brains at this time is a huge, huge factor in being unmessable with. You guys are leaders. If you're paying attention to this video right now, chances are you care. You care about your families, you care about the people around you, you care about yourself and your businesses and how everything is affected. And we need people like you to be the ripple effect in the world. We need people to be role models for other people and show them how to cope in a healthy way with this crisis, and not only survive it, but really thrive during it. So you are essential in this space. We need to take intentional care of what we focus on. One of the things that puts the brain, it actually can change our brain. If we focus our thoughts, there's been studies, if you focus your thoughts on thoughts of gratitude, it will actually change your brain. If you think of a country road, okay, and you see a truck going down a wet country road, it creates ruts in the road, right, in the mud. And each time a car or a vehicle goes down that country road, the ruts get deeper. It's very similar with our brains, okay? Whatever we focus on, those brain pathways get stronger. They get thicker, and the more you use them, the stronger they get. So if we're focusing on things that are unproductive or not helpful during this time, those brain pathways are going to get stronger, and it's going to make it harder to change to a different pathway and really work a new pathway, if that makes sense. So we want to focus on where we want to go, not where we don't want to go. We want to focus on where we want to go. We want to focus on what we do want, what we do already have in our life. We want to focus on all the abundance, the gratitude, the love, the money in your bank, the stuff that you have right now. Focus on all of that, all the abundance that you've already created. My guess is you already have friends, you already have family, you already have a roof over your head, and maybe you still have your job. There's so much to be thankful for in just what we have right now. And keeping our focus on that helps us to create more of that. It keeps our brain in a great place so that we can come up with other possibilities of how to navigate a crisis. Other thing is language. Language is a big part of keeping our brains in a good space that is productive. If we focus on using language that is blaming, complaining, and negative, that's going to grow. And right now, that is not helpful. It also creates triggers, it also keeps our amygdala hijacked. So we need to be non-negotiable in our language. We need to eliminate all blame, draw a line in the sand. Right now, we're not blaming anybody. We're not fighting anybody on it. We're not trying to prove that we're right. We are keeping positive about stuff. We need to make those things non-negotiable. So we need to do things that are going to take our brain where we want it to go. So by asking yourself questions, your brain will come up with an answer. So we need to be very intentional about the questions we ask ourselves, focusing on questions that are taking us to that gratitude place. So what are we thankful for? Taking ourselves to a place of growth and contribution, because those two human needs keep us in a spiritual place. It's the two human needs that fill that void that we feel sometimes when we feel like we don't have a purpose. That growth and contribution really keeps us there. So asking questions like, what can I learn from this? What is great about this? Who can I help during this time? How can I contribute to my family or my job or my business or my community during this time? Asking yourself great questions is going to come up with great results, great answers that are going to be able to get you to a place that you really want to be, where you are thriving and not just surviving. And then physiology is the third one. Physiology, how we move our bodies, okay? There have been studies that show that when we hold our bodies in certain ways, those pathways that we've created where we associate certain feelings with certain body movements, just like the country road, those pathways grow. And if we're in an anxious state, people have a tendency when they are feeling anxious to hold themselves, you know, where you're protecting yourself. Maybe your shoulders are down and you're holding yourself in a protected way. Or when we're feeling negative or scared, you know, sometimes we cover ourselves and we sit back. So if we're sitting on the couch and we're watching the news and we're scared and we're kind of all feetled up on the couch like this, it's not a productive state. It's keeping those pathways strong to keep us in that state. So what we want to do is open ourselves up. There's this book, I have it over here. It's called Presence by Amy Cuddy, if you want to do some reading while you're at home. And it talks about how when we open ourselves up, it actually has pathways that go from our body to our brain that create different feelings. So by holding yourself in a place like with your hands up, like you're in a victory stance or a Wonder Woman stance, it actually makes you feel better. Your shoulders are back and you open up. It changes. When you change your physiology, it changes your brain. And smiling is something. You start smiling, you feel happier. If you run around and dance, you know, right now, if we're stuck at home, give yourself a dance party a couple times during the day. Get yourself moving, exercise, whether you got to do jumping jacks or push-ups or whatever, because we can't go to the gym. Get outside and take a hike. As long as you're socially distancing yourself, get out, get moving, get your body moving. It's going to create changes in your brain that are going to help you think better and are going to help you to come up with great possibilities, especially during this time. Then, commitment, huge piece of it. We need to be committed to being intentional on our focus, our language, and our physiology. Okay, if we commit, it is in the times that we make decisions, right? If we can make a decision and have a commitment to focusing on these things, the focus, the language, and the physiology, external circumstances lose their power. Okay, it's in our commitment to deciding that we're going to be a certain way that external circumstances, they really just lose their power. So I hope this was helpful to you. I do ask that if you enjoyed this and you want to keep in touch and get more resources, that you follow my Facebook page. It's Karen Pohlman, Live Another Way. And I'm also in the process of writing a book that contains all these lessons and many more that we learned when we were homeless. And it's Live Another Way Book on Facebook at Live Another Way Book. And you can follow the process that I'm going through right now. I'm writing it as fast as I can. I actually have some extra time now that I'm kind of at home more. And so I hope you will follow me on that. And I do have a gift for you. It's a free download. If you go to karenpohlman.com/pop-into-peace, I have a free download with questions that you can print out and put up on your fridge or put up in your car or at work or at home or whatever, in your bathroom. It's basically questions that keep you in a productive state. So hope that was helpful to you. Please do share it with other people. We want to make sure that everybody gets what they need so that they can not only survive during this crisis, but they can thrive also. So I do appreciate your time and have a great day.